Welcome to Informed Tourist, where we uncover the hidden stories behind your favorite destinations and the journeys that shape our world. I'm Curtis, your traveling guru, and I'll be your guide as we explore the surprising impact of travel, both past and present. Did you know some of history's biggest changes started not with armies but with travelers? Adventurers, merchants, and explorers have often been the first to set foot in new lands, opening doors to both opportunity and upheaval. We think of travel as innocent, a way to relax and discover new cultures. But sometimes the line between tourist and conqueror is razor thin, one step away from admiration to domination. Today we'll explore how travelers have reshaped the world, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, and why your next trip might be more powerful than you think. Every journey leaves a mark, whether we notice it or not. History is full of stories where visitors arrived, fell in love with the place, and decided to stay, often changing everything for those who already called it home. Sometimes these tourists brought families, new ideas, and their own language, asking for just a small corner to call home, but their presence often grew, and so did their influence. But when they refused to adapt and instead demanded the locals change for them, trouble began. Cultures clashed, and the balance shifted. This is a slow-motion conquest, one of the most powerful yet overlooked forces in human history. It's not always about violence, but about gradual transformation. Our story follows a familiar pattern: arrival, conflict, and finally transformation or erasure of the old way of life. Sometimes what starts as a visit ends up rewriting history. We'll dive into real-world examples of this phenomenon, from ancient times to the present day, and see how the footsteps of travelers have echoed through generations. And at the end, I'll share a travel hack from history, how you can make sure your journeys enrich, not erase, the places you visit. So pack your curiosity and let's get started on this eye-opening adventure. How did Texas, with its deep Mexican roots, become part of the United States? The answer is more complex than a simple tale of conquest or war. It's a story of migration, opportunity, and unintended consequences that would forever reshape the map of North America. Not by invasion, but by invitation. Mexico, newly independent and eager to develop its vast northern territories, saw American settlers as a solution to its sparsely populated frontier. In the 1820s, Mexico invited American settlers to Tejas, offering cheap land and a fresh start. The promise of fertile soil and new beginnings drew families and fortune seekers from across the United States. Thousands came, agreeing to Mexico's rules: no slavery, allegiance to Mexico, and conversion to Catholicism. These requirements were meant to ensure loyalty and cultural unity, but many ignored these terms, bringing slaves and clinging to their own culture. Old habits and beliefs proved hard to change, and the settlers' way of life often clashed with Mexican law. Soon, English-speaking settlers outnumbered the Tejanos. The demographic shift was rapid and dramatic, transforming the region's identity almost overnight. The Mexican government tried to regain control, but the settlers had become a powerful, separate group. Tensions simmered as both sides struggled for authority and cultural dominance. Tensions exploded into the Texas Revolution, leading to an independent Texas and soon after U.S. annexation. The world watched as a new nation was born, only to be absorbed by its neighbor. A huge piece of Mexico was lost, not to soldiers but to settlers who refused to assimilate. The border shifted, not with armies, but with the steady flow of people and their determination to shape their own destiny. This is how immigration, when mixed with cultural resistance, can redraw borders. The Texas story is a powerful reminder of how migration can be a force as strong as any army. The story of Texas is a stunning example of tourists turned conquerors. Ordinary people seeking better lives ended up changing the fate of nations. It's a lesson in how the movement of people can change nations. Borders are not just lines on a map, they are living, shifting results of human ambition and migration. Let's look at another case. 4th century AD, the Roman Empire faces a crisis. Fleeing the Huns, thousands of Goths beg for refuge at Rome's border. The Romans let them in, hoping to gain new workers and soldiers. But corruption and mistreatment turned the Goths' new life into a nightmare. Isolated and starving, the Goths rebel. In 378 AD, they defeat the Roman army at Adrianople, killing Emperor Valens. The refugees Rome tried to control became a nation within its borders. Over decades, the Goths never truly assimilate. In 410 AD, they sack Rome itself, the ultimate reversal. The lesson: when newcomers are mistreated and excluded, they can become a force that reshapes empires. The Goths arrived as desperate guests but left as history makers. This pattern echoes through time. Next, let's cross the Atlantic. What happens when travelers arrive in a land already home to millions? The English colonization of North America is the ultimate case of tourists becoming conquerors. The Pilgrims survived thanks to Native American help, but later settlers came with a different mindset. They saw the land as theirs to claim, bringing private property and English customs. Instead of blending in, they built towns, laws, and religions that pushed aside native societies. When Native Americans resisted, settlers responded with force. The result, a continent transformed, native cultures decimated, and a new nation built on English traditions. The English didn't just visit, they remade America. A small stream of arrivals became a flood that washed away the old world. This is the power of travelers who refuse to adapt. But this story isn't unique. This pattern repeats across history. The Anglo-Saxons were hired as mercenaries in Britain, but soon settled, pushing out the native Celts and founding England. In South Africa, Dutch employees became Boers, creating a new nation and subjugating local tribes. Vikings raided, then settled in Russia and France, founding new states and even conquering England. The Crusaders, under the guise of holy war, set up European kingdoms in the Middle East, ruling for centuries. In each case, outsiders arrived, refused to assimilate and transform societies. Sometimes they integrated, but often they dominated and reshaped the world around them. The movement of people is history's most powerful engine of change. Whether mercenaries, refugees, or pilgrims, travelers have redrawn maps and rewritten destinies. The lesson: travel can build or destroy. So, what kind of traveler will you be? Here's how to make a difference. After this whirlwind tour, what's the ultimate travel hack from history? It's not about finding the best deals or ticking off the most sites. Instead, it's about how you move through the world and the attitude you bring to every new place you visit. Be a student, not a master. The most respectful way to travel is to blend in, not take over. When you approach a new culture with curiosity and humility, you open yourself up to experiences you'd never find in a guidebook. True travel is about humility, recognizing you're a guest in someone else's home. Every custom, every tradition, is an invitation to learn, not a challenge to change. The conqueror tourist demands, "Why isn't this like home?" The informed tourist asks, "What can I learn here?" The difference is subtle, but it changes everything about your journey. This mindset turns you from a consumer into a participant in a cultural exchange. You're not just observing, you're engaging, sharing, and growing alongside the people you meet. Here's your expert tip. Learn 5 phrases in the local language. Hello, please, thank you, excuse me, and goodbye. Even a simple greeting can open doors and hearts, showing you care enough to try. Read about local customs, respect traditions, and always ask before taking photos. These small gestures show you value the people and places you visit. These small acts show respect and reject the conqueror's mindset. They build bridges, not barriers, and create memories that last far beyond your trip. Travelers can be a force for conflict or for understanding. The way you choose to interact can either reinforce stereotypes or break them down. The choice is yours with every trip. Every encounter is a chance to make a positive impact, no matter how small. Leave gentle footprints, and return home with a richer view of the world. The stories you collect will shape not just your memories, but your perspective on life. Will you be a tourist or a student of the world? The answer is in how you choose to travel, and the respect you show along the way. Thanks for watching Informed Tourist. Please like and subscribe, it truly makes my day and it helps this channel grow. Now check out our video on the Silk Road for more travel insights.